When you sit in a quiet room and hear your own heartbeat, you probably don't think about the small, silent organs working day and night to keep that rhythm steady. Yet for millions of people over 50, there's a hidden storm quietly brewing in their kidneys, revealed by one unsettling number on a blood test: high creatinine. Most shrug it off, thinking it's just another lab value, nothing urgent. But here's the truth. This tiny marker can mean the difference between staying independent, vibrant, and full of energy, or slipping into a slow decline that steals away your freedom. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Vital Science for Seniors. Today, I'll take you inside a mystery most people overlook, where the very foods we trust for strength can either protect the kidney like a shield or silently chip away at it like a hammer. Protein is the body's carpenter. It repairs muscles, builds strength, and keeps our immune system standing tall. But like every workshop, there's sawdust left behind. That sawdust, in the case of protein, is creatinine. Healthy kidneys sweep it out without a fuss. Yet when kidneys weaken, that waste lingers, piling up in the blood, leaving people tired, swollen, or foggy-minded. Here's the tricky part. You still need protein, but the wrong type can overload those already fragile filters. The right kind, however, feeds the body without burying the kidneys in waste. And that choice can change everything. Let me take you back to a conversation I had with Margaret, a 72-year-old retired teacher who came to see me after her annual checkup. She looked perfectly well on the outside, but her lab report told another story. Her creatinine was creeping up and her energy was fading. She whispered to me, "Dr. Brian, I thought I was eating healthy. Eggs for breakfast, chicken at lunch, and a little steak for dinner. But now they say my kidneys are struggling. What am I doing wrong?" Margaret's confusion is shared by so many. The truth is, not all proteins are equal when it comes to kidney health. Some nourish you without leaving too much waste behind, while others act like heavy bricks pressing on already delicate filters. Let's start with three of the most kidney-friendly proteins you can welcome onto your plate. Foods that can help protect your kidneys, lower creatinine, and still keep you strong. Egg whites are the first, and for good reason. Imagine them as the clean canvas of protein, pure, light, and free from the shadows that weigh kidneys down. Inside that smooth, clear white lies complete protein, meaning it holds all the building blocks your muscles and immune system need. Yet unlike the yolk, it doesn't carry phosphorus, cholesterol, or saturated fat, those hidden troublemakers that quietly raise blood pressure and stiffen arteries. A study in the Journal of Renal Nutrition showed that patients who included more egg whites in their diet had better control over phosphorus levels, which is crucial when kidneys can't filter excess minerals efficiently. I often tell my patients, think of egg whites as protein without baggage. Margaret, for instance, swapped her morning scrambled whole eggs for 3 whites, adding herbs and a pinch of turmeric for color. Within weeks, she felt lighter, her swelling eased, and her cholesterol numbers began to settle. And there's no shortage of ways to prepare them. Boiled and sliced into a salad, whisked into a vegetable scramble, or blended into a smoothie for an invisible protein boost. If you buy liquid egg whites in a carton, check the label to make sure it's 100% egg whites with no added salt or stabilizers. And always cook them, since raw whites contain avidin, which blocks the absorption of biotin, a key B vitamin. Properly prepared, egg whites offer strength without strain, a rare gift for kidneys under pressure. The second safe harbor of protein is skinless chicken breast. Many of my older patients worry they'll feel weak if they cut back on meat, but chicken breast, prepared wisely, is both gentle on the kidneys and powerful for preserving muscle. Picture it as the lean athlete of proteins, full of amino acids but stripped of the fat and phosphorus that make kidneys work overtime. When eaten without skin and without salty marinades, chicken breast becomes a reliable ally. I recall one gentleman, James, who had lost weight rapidly because he feared eating protein after hearing his creatinine was high. He was skipping meals, becoming frail and fatigued. When I explained that small portions of carefully prepared chicken breast could help him rebuild muscle without overwhelming his kidneys, his relief was palpable. We planned simple meals: baked chicken seasoned with lemon and rosemary, grilled strips tossed into a colorful stir-fry, or tender chunks simmered with low-sodium broth and vegetables. Soon, his energy returned, and he regained confidence in his meals. The key is moderation and method. Keep the portion about the size of a deck of cards, 2 or 3 times a week, and avoid the traps of processed or rotisserie chicken, which are often soaked in salty brines or phosphate preservatives. Those shortcuts may save time but cost kidney health dearly. With mindful preparation, chicken breast offers steady nourishment, like a well-tuned engine that runs smoothly without leaving harmful exhaust behind. The third protein I want to share might surprise you: tofu. For those raised on traditional Western diets, tofu may seem bland or unfamiliar, but it is one of the most underrated allies in a kidney-friendly diet. Unlike animal proteins, tofu is plant-based, meaning it produces less acid and fewer waste products for your kidneys to manage. Think of it as the quiet gardener, nurturing the body gently, without noise or mess. Tofu is naturally low in phosphorus, completely free of cholesterol, and carries plant compounds called isoflavones, which reduce inflammation. Chronic inflammation is like a smoldering fire in the body, particularly damaging when kidneys are already weakened, and tofu helps calm those flames. Research published in Kidney International highlighted that plant proteins like soy may slow the progression of chronic kidney disease compared to animal proteins. I encouraged Margaret to try tofu as an experiment. She diced firm tofu, pan-seared it with garlic, spinach, and a splash of olive oil, and to her surprise, she loved the texture. Later, she even blended silken tofu into smoothies for creaminess without dairy. The beauty of tofu is its versatility. It absorbs the flavors you add, whether ginger and scallions in a stir-fry or lemon and herbs in a baked dish. A half cup serving 2 to 4 times a week can give your body strength without loading your kidneys with creatinine. Just be sure to buy plain, unseasoned tofu and flavor it yourself, since packaged versions often come with excess salt. And if you're cautious about soy, remember that moderate tofu intake is generally safe for most older adults, though it's wise to check with your doctor if you have advanced kidney disease or hormone-related conditions. So when you stand in your kitchen wondering what to eat, remember that the right proteins can act like supportive friends, lifting you up, keeping you steady, and protecting the most vulnerable part of your health. Egg whites, skinless chicken breast, and tofu may not be glamorous, but they are dependable. They provide strength without sabotaging the delicate balance your kidneys are trying to maintain. Margaret embraced this trio, and over months her lab work stabilized, her energy returned, and she felt in control again. It wasn't a miracle pill. It was the power of choosing wisely, one meal at a time. Now, as important as it is to know which proteins will protect your kidneys, it is just as critical to recognize the ones that slowly chip away at their function. These are the silent saboteurs, the ones that may seem harmless or even healthy at first glance. But over time, they leave behind damage that no medicine can fully erase. I often tell my patients that avoiding the wrong foods is like steering away from potholes on the road. You may not notice the jolt right away, but hit enough of them, and your suspension breaks down. The kidneys, fragile filters that they are, feel every bump. Let's begin with processed meats. Bacon sizzling in the pan, a slice of deli ham in a sandwich, a hot dog at a ball game. These foods are wrapped in nostalgia, comfort, and convenience. But inside that salty, smoky flavor lies a cocktail of dangers. Processed meats are loaded with sodium, and sodium is the arch enemy of kidney health. Too much salt raises blood pressure, and high blood pressure is the second leading cause of kidney failure. It's like turning up the water pressure on a delicate garden hose. Eventually, the hose bursts. Beyond sodium, processed meats are also laced with phosphate additives. These additives don't just sit quietly in the background. They sneak into your bloodstream, causing phosphorus levels to spike quickly. For someone with compromised kidneys, this is dangerous territory because high phosphorus leaches calcium from the bones and stiffens blood vessels, raising the risk of heart attacks. And then there are the preservatives, nitrates and nitrites, that give these meats their pink color. Once inside the body, they can trigger inflammation and oxidative stress, accelerating kidney decline. I once counseled a man named Richard, who was in his 60s and adored his morning bacon. When his labs showed worsening kidney function, we talked about this hidden danger. He reluctantly gave up bacon, replacing it with a warm bowl of oats topped with berries and occasionally egg whites on the side. Months later, he told me, "Dr. Brian, I didn't realize food could make such a difference. My legs don't swell as much, and I feel clearer." The bacon wasn't worth the burden it placed on his kidneys. The second culprit is red meat, beef, pork, lamb, and especially organ meats like liver and kidney pies may feel hearty and satisfying, but they come with a heavy price tag for anyone with rising creatinine. Red meats are naturally high in creatine, the compound that breaks down into creatinine. More creatine in, more creatinine out. And when kidneys can't keep up, that number climbs higher and higher. Think of it like pouring buckets of sand into a filter that's already clogged. Eventually, the filter can't pass anything through. Beyond creatinine, red meat is also dense in saturated fats, which fuel inflammation and damage blood vessels. That means not just kidney decline, but higher risk of heart attacks and strokes. The heme iron in red meat, though valuable in small amounts, acts like rust in the body when it's excessive. It produces oxidative stress, which chips away at healthy kidney tissue. Organ meats are even more troubling. They're packed with purines, substances that the body converts into uric acid. For someone with fragile kidneys, that extra uric acid piles up, leading to gout, painful joint attacks, and kidney stones. I remember a patient, Ellen, who loved her Sunday roasts. She told me, "Doctor, I thought beef gave me strength." But her creatinine was rising sharply, and she was developing gout attacks so severe she could barely walk. When she cut back on red meats and switched to lighter proteins like chicken and tofu, her flare-ups eased and her labs stabilized. The lesson is clear. Red meat might feel like fuel in the short term, but it wears the kidneys down in the long run. And then there is shellfish, shrimp, crab, lobster, the delicacies of the sea that so many enjoy at celebrations. What most don't realize is that shellfish are packed with purines, those same compounds that drive up uric acid. For someone with kidney disease or even just high creatinine, this is a recipe for gout flares and kidney stone formation. Shellfish also add another layer of burden. They can modestly raise cholesterol, and they are often prepared with copious amounts of salt, butter, or preservatives that only add to the strain. There's also the quiet concern of heavy metals. Studies have found traces of mercury and cadmium in certain shellfish, and while a healthy kidney might manage small exposures, a weakened kidney can struggle, allowing toxins to accumulate. I once had a patient named Thomas, a 68-year-old who enjoyed shrimp cocktails at family gatherings. Over time, his creatinine climbed, and he experienced his first gout attack after a seafood-heavy holiday meal. He described the pain as like walking on broken glass. When we reviewed his diet, the connection became clear. By shifting away from shellfish and embracing safer proteins, his uric acid levels dropped, and he regained control. Processed meats, red meats, and shellfish. These are the three major offenders when it comes to high creatinine and kidney stress. Each carries a hidden burden, whether it's sodium, creatine, purines, or preservatives. They may bring momentary pleasure, but they quietly push the kidneys toward exhaustion. For someone over 50, every food choice matters more than ever because the kidneys no longer have decades of reserve to buffer mistakes. Avoiding these proteins doesn't mean giving up joy in eating. It means choosing joy in health, mobility, and independence for years to come. So here's the truth we've uncovered together. Some proteins are like gentle allies to your kidneys. Egg whites, chicken breast, tofu, while others like processed meats, red meats, and shellfish act as hidden saboteurs. The choice you make at the table echoes in your bloodstream, shaping whether creatinine stays controlled or climbs to dangerous levels. And the most powerful message I want you to take away is this: you are not powerless. Even after 50, every meal is a chance to protect your kidneys, reclaim your energy, and safeguard your independence. Stay hopeful, stay curious, and keep choosing wisely.